Flipping is not what they make it always on TV, where you see that the investor buy it for $250, they put in $50,000, they sell it for $400, and they're making $150,000 in profit. That would be great if it worked that way. But there's other costs that come into account when you're flipping properties. There's the purchase price, there's the rehab, what's your soft costs, your utilities, your taxes, your insurance, your staging. How much is your monthly payment, and how is that going to add up over the life of your project? All these things make a big impact against your profit, so you want to make sure you're using the right tools to make sure that next deal is a good one. I'm James Dainard from the On the Market podcast, and today we're talking about how to utilize financial calculators and metrics to underwrite your next flip property. Fix and flip is one of the riskiest asset classes that you can get involved in. It also has the biggest cash on cash and margin returns. So it's worth the risk, but you want to use the right calculators to make sure you're buying a good deal. So now I'm going to take you on a test drive for the BiggerPockets Flip Calculator, showing you how to use it to analyze the financial performance of your next deal. You can get unlimited uses for the calculator by joining BiggerPockets Pro. Use the code FLIPJ to get 20% off your Pro annual subscription and a free digital copy of Real Estate by the Numbers by David Myers, so you can always be ready to calculate your next deal. Visit biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade to claim yours now. So the first thing you do is go to biggerpockets.com. You sign up for the Pro membership. The Pro membership is going to give you access to all of the tools and calculators in the website to help you underwrite your next investment property. So the first thing is we have a property in Federal Way, Washington. We've already done the rough underwriting of the property where we've looked at what it is, the tax records, the bedroom bathroom count, the style code, what needs to be done to it. We've ran the comparables for the properties where we pulled properties within a quarter to half mile radius that have a similar style, same bedroom bathroom count, and is within a similar square footage. We looked for renovated comps, and this established our after repaired value, the fixed up value of our property. If you want more information on how to pull the comparables and how to estimate your rehab costs, check out BiggerPockets YouTube video, James Dainard, how to underwrite your next deal, and I'll walk you through that process. In our prelim underwriting, we've already estimated the rehab, $45,000, and we had a value at $540,000. We did this by pulling local comps in the area, and we established what the value would be after we do the strategic rehab plan. Now what we need to do is figure out what strike price, what offer price we need to be at to make sure that it makes financial sense. Are we going to make money? We know what it can sell for. We've an estimate what we think it might need to get it in sellable condition, but now we need to know where do we need to set our price to offset all the different financial costs, all the sale costs, and how are we going to collect a margin. So after looking at pictures of the property and running our comparables, we knew that we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1,100 square feet. We pulled comparables of the same bed bath count, the same type of square footage to establish the value. The comps for the property were showing $540,000, and they needed a full renovation to get there. That was going to mean updating cabinets, updating countertops, updating all the general surfaces. We also had pictures of the property, and we saw the current condition. We could estimate the rehab costs by what we were seeing. We saw that the house already had a good roof, it had good windows, and it just needed a cosmetic upgrade to get it in highest and best use. All the spaces were where it needed to be, but we needed new cabinets, new flooring, new doors, new trim, a full turnover to maximize that price. So now that we knew the fixed up value and roughly what we needed to do to it, which was a full cosmetic renovation, about $45,000 to go into this property, now we need to determine what is our offer price. There's so many things that go into that offer price. What's your buy? How much is your rehab? What can you sell it for? But then all the other costs that can erode your profit. These costs are your hard money payments, your soft costs, your property taxes, your insurance, your utility cost, your sell cost when you hire a broker and you have to sell that property. All these things are going to take off the margin and you have to account for them. That's the purpose of the flip calculator. It's going to combine all these costs and then let you know where you want to be as far as a return goes. So let's dig in, and we're going to do this property in live time. So we are currently in negotiations, and the seller expects an offer with us within the next 24 hours. So we got to crunch the numbers behind it. What you do is you log on, you come in, you start the new report. You're going to input the address. We have the address right here. This is going to keep everything organized for you so you can always revisit it. You're going to input the address, and then you're going to go to the next estimates. In addition to, if you want, you can take a picture of the property and load it in so you can always see what it looks like. We're going to skip that for now. Once you input the property information, then it comes down to the estimates. We've already pulled the comparables on the property, and we established that this property was worth $540,000. The desired profit with what we want to make is we are shooting to make roughly about a 10% return on the sale price. So for our estimated profit, we're going to shoot for about a $40,000 profit on a property like this. We're going to utilize leverage. We're going to get a construction loan, but we're going to shoot for about $40,000 on a $540,000 property. Once we enter in our purchase price and our desired profit, it's going to take you down to your purchase closing costs. These are the costs that a lot of times get missed by potential investors. They know their buy price, they know their rehab, they know their sell costs, but they forgot about all the junk costs. These junk costs make big impacts across your bottom line. Roughly in Washington, it's going to cost us about $2,500 in buyer closing costs. That's going to cover our escrow fees, our title insurance, and other little miscellaneous closing costs to get the transaction closed. Once you get through and you input your closing costs, then you're going to put in your estimated repair. Now remember, we said we're going to do a full cosmetic turn. It wasn't that big of a project. The windows were good, roof was good. We're doing cabinets, flooring, appliances, doors, millwork, paint, tiling out the bathrooms. A like-for-like renovation, which is simple and we can control the cost. So we have $45,000 as the repair cost. I love deals like that. Once we enter in our repair cost, we need to account for the money costs, your general holding costs. In the Pacific Northwest, we use in-trust funding, which is a dependable hard money lender that can fund our deals in as little as 24 hours. So when we're negotiating with these sellers, we like to be able to give them a very clean offer to work with any time frame. So we utilize in-trust funding to give us cash so we can make a very seamless and pain-free sale for the seller. It's in our best interest to be able to give them the best possible terms. We can close in as little as 5 days. That gets their attention. That allows us to negotiate the price down because they're doing a cash convenient sale. But this money can be expensive. It's 2 points and 12% interest. So on this property, as we're looking at it, roughly, we're targeting a property around $550,000. We're going to be looking at buying this property in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. With a payment of around 12%, that's going to be a cost of $3,500 to $4,000 a month. In addition to, we have property taxes, we have insurance, general utilities. These things are going to add up to about $500 to $600 a month here. So our holding cost per month is going to be about $4,500 a month on the high side, and so we want to input that in to account for those. When you're looking at these expenses, you can either put in the general cost at $4,500, or you can go advanced and break it down by line item: electrical, water, gas, property tax. Break them all down individually, and that's going to calculate that. We're going to stick with the $4,500 because I feel pretty comfortable about it. The next is how long will it take to rehab and sell your property? This is your timeline on the deal. The reason that matters is every month that goes by, $4,500 in profit is going to come off the deal. In addition to, it's going to help you calculate the annualized cash-on-cash return. When we're looking at a deal in the Pacific Northwest, we are targeting a 35% return on our cash inside of a 6-month window. We target 70% returns in a 12-month period. So based on how long the property is going to take, it's going to also dictate our minimum returns. If the property is getting done in 3 months, we might look at buying that property at a 12.5% to 15% return because it's a tighter window. If it's going to take 12 months, we might go to 50 to 70% because it's a longer deal. We're chasing the annualized return. So the timelines are very important that you establish those correctly. So as you can see, we can change it. This is a very light cosmetic fixer. We should be able to turn the property in 8 weeks. It should be able to be sold within 30 days and close in 30 days. So we think we can get in and out of this deal in a 4-month period. So we're going to set the timeline at 4 months. That's going to count for that $4,500 a month for the 4 months. And then you're going to click on the next sale. The next thing that you have to account for is your real estate commissions. In the Pacific Northwest, we pay 6%. 5 to 6% is typically what it costs us to sell a property. 3% for the buying broker, 3% for the listing broker. So we're going to enter in what your costs are for commissions. You know, if you're a broker yourselves and you sell all your properties, maybe you take that off because you're just looking at the financial performance. But whatever your costs are, you need to input in those percentages. Then you need to calculate your closing costs. Every state is different. They have different transfer tasks, different types of expenses, so you need to calculate your own. In Washington State, we pay roughly 1.3% all the way up to 3% for a sliding scale excise tax. On this property, it's going to roughly cost us about 2%. That's just to sell the property, we have a 2% tax. In addition to, we have title and escrow, which those usually cost about another 1%. So when we're selling a property in the Pacific Northwest, it costs us 3% plus the real estate commissions at 6%. So at a sale price of $540,000, our closing costs at 3% are going to be roughly about $17,000. We're going to input our sale closing costs, and then we're going to finish our analysis. And now we are at a report. So this report summarizes all of the information you just put in and allows you to change it to see where your strike price could be. It's a very interactive tool. That's why the BiggerPockets Flip Calc is so cool. Most of us are just working on basic spreadsheets, manually entering in the numbers and changing the numbers to look at the performance. With the BiggerPockets report, it's a calculator on steroids. You can do more cool things. So as we see, it calculates what my offer price should be based on all the costs we're in. So based on all the information that we put on the property, the $540,000, the general holding cost at $4,500 a month, the rehab at $45,000, the BiggerPockets calculator is telling me I should offer $385,000 to make my $45,000 profit. And it's calculating based on the after repair value and the rehab costs. The cool thing about the calculator is we can move this around. So let's say the market is improving, which we've seen over the last 6 months, and I'm looking at this property, it hasn't sold. I can then change my value and when I recomp it and go, hey, now I'm at $550. Let's say the seller wouldn't consider my offer in the 380s, but now I can go up to 395. So it allows you to stay on the deal in real time. As the market changes, you can update your values, update your budgets, update your values, and it will update your strike price. So you can always stay in the deal. Once you come down past the values and what the strike price would be, you can start messing with the other functions. Let's say we find a new good contractor in the market. We're looking at this deal, we can't make it work, but we found a new contractor that's cheaper than our other contractors, about 10% cheaper. We then could look at this deal and go, hey, this wouldn't work with our existing construction team, but with our new guy we just brought in, we can now get this done for $40,000. By bringing down the $40,000 repair cost, it's going to adjust my strike price to where I can go up higher. You know, the less I can get the rehab cost down, the more profit's going to be in the deal. My anticipated profit's going to be met, which is going to allow me to increase my price. The more you can stay in a deal, the more you're going to transact. Remember, I said we've done over 3,500 transactions in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't get those all on our first initial swing, the first price we threw at people. We did it by staying in the deal, following up with seller, updating our numbers, and inching our way toward meeting the seller's goal. By staying in the deal and updating our numbers, it kept us in real time and real communication with the seller that gets more transactions done. So as you come through, you can adjust all your costs. Your repair costs down to $40,000. Let's say I find a cheaper lender that now I have access to capital to. Instead of paying 12%, maybe I'm paying 10%. That could drop my payment nearly $500 to $600 a month. Now all of a sudden my holding cost went from $4,500 down to $3,800, which is again going to give me a higher offer price. Let's say money goes up as you're looking at writing that offer and it goes up to $5,000. It's going to say, James, your costs have gone up. You need to reduce your offer down. Now we're at $396. So the purpose of the calculator is to take all your costs, summarize it, let you know where your strike prices are going to be, and then keep you in real time adjusting. Now, once we're done analyzing the property, and let's say we can't meet the seller's needs, like in this specific scenario, we have to be around $390,000 on this property. The seller's looking for a little bit more, and he's going to test the market. He's going to go talk to other people. But during this time, it keeps our number where we need to be, and we can re-engage with them. So if we don't get the property, but it hasn't been sold, then we save our changes and we store into reports. That's another great thing about BiggerPockets Flip Calculator. Not only can you calculate the financial performance of the deal, it keeps all the deals in front of you. So we just did this property in Federal Way. It's now saved. We can see the highlights. It's worth $550,000. Our max offer price is $396, and we can keep revisiting the deal. Here's other deals that we fully analyzed, and we can stay in the property. Every week, we revisit these properties. By keeping them on our dashboard, it reminds us to look at them. So as we look at this other deal right here, this is a property analyzed in Ballard. We came in, it's got our max allowable number at $780. We know our rehab cost at $163. Let's say, again, we can get our cost down or our cost increase. That's going to bring our offer price down at that point. Or, again, As we get cheaper money, maybe it drops our payment and it's going to bring our offer up. So it keeps the deal in front of you. You can adjust your numbers and then change your pricing. Goes through, we can revisit the deal. It gives us a refresher on what we're looking at, and then we can go back to our next report. So every week we go through and we are constantly revisiting these deals. So not only is the financial performance calculator going to guide you to what your offer price should be to make sure you're meeting your minimum returns, it's going to keep everything in front of you so you never mix that deal. Don't give up on a deal until it's sold. You never know what could happen. So flipping is a high-risk business, but you can reduce those risks by using the right financial tools. That's what the BiggerPockets Flip Calculator is for. It's going to show you what offer price to be at, where your profitability is, and keep you competitive in today's market. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe below. And for more information from me, check me out on Instagram at jdainflips or at jamesdainard.com. I will see you guys next time on the On the Market podcast.